I'm Tiffany Castine, student ID number E3143786, and this is fall 2017. Video, we will be demonstrating how to force a dog to accept a pill. For this video we have materials, empty capsules, and our patient. This is Thorax. He's a Great Pyrenees dog. Set this down on our table. So to force a dog to take a pill, we'll open his mouth, place the pill as far to the back of the throat as you can, behind the tongue, close his mouth, and rub his throat until you feel him swallow the pill. Big gulp. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. For this video, we'll be demonstrating how to force your cat to take a pill. For materials, we'll be using a clear capsule pill, our cat, and a restraining device. We're going to be using just this towel. We're going to wrap the towel loosely around the cat, but tightly enough to control his arms. Then we're going to take our pill, and with our hand that is not giving the pill, we're going to open his mouth by placing both fingers on either side of his lower jaw, opening up his mouth, and placing the pill as far back in his mouth as we can, closing his mouth and making sure he takes his pill by gently stroking his throat until he swallows. And there's that swallow. For this video demonstration, we'll be showing you how to clip your dog's nails at home. It's a fairly simple procedure, but there are some things to keep in mind. For this video, we will be using materials, a pair of nail clippers. These nail trimmers are specifically for pets. There are several available on the market. These are a good general purpose nail clipper. And some blood stop powder. Again, there's many different brands of this, but this is just a good generic blood stop powder in case we go a little bit too deep and nick the quick, which there's veins in it and it'll start to bleed, and so this will stop the bleeding. So first of all, it's good to know a little bit about the anatomy of the nail. So in our nails we have what is called a quick, and the quick has veins in it, and if you cut too deep and hit the quick, it will cause bleeding. So we want to try and avoid that as much as possible. For dark nails, like Dexter here has, we want to look underneath, and you can see that there's a kind of soft area, and then it's thicker. And where that soft area ends and tapers off, and it becomes thinner and longer, is where we want to cut. And we don't want to cut past the thin, long area and into this softer area where the quick is located. So we'll pick up our nail clippers here, find the area right below the quick, and blunt his nails, like so. On white nails, it's much easier to see the quick, but after practice, you'll be good at doing both dark nails as well as white nails. And don't forget your inner dew claw here. It gets neglected sometimes, and it grows longer than the others because it's not having contact with the ground very often, so we always want to get our dew claw there too. So here I'm going to show you how to use the blood stop powder in case you do go too deep and nick a quick. So we're going to pretend that this nail is bleeding and I've hit the quick. And sometimes it can bleed quite profusely, so don't let that alarm you. Just as soon as possible, take your blood stop powder, and you can either sprinkle it on like so, or dip the claw that is affected in like that. And after a few seconds, that should get it stopped. Well, that's all we have today. Thank you for joining us on how to clip your dog's toenails. For this video demonstration, we'll be showing you how to clip your cat's nails at home. So materials that we'll need are a pair of nail clippers for pets and some blood stop powder in case we go a little bit too deep and hit the quick. The quick is a soft area on the nail that contains blood vessels and nerves, and we don't want to clip that with these clippers because it will bleed and it will cause the cat discomfort. Some cats may need to be restrained using a towel, and others might be willing to get their nails clipped without such restraints. So, we'll start with our cat, and we're going to press his paw so that his nails come out of their sheaths and we can see them visibly. He's got light colored nails, so it's going to be very easy to see his quick through those nails. It's a pink area that's right there at the base where it's thicker too. So you can see his nails need to be clipped, and we're just blunting those nails. As we go, being careful not to hit the quick, and we don't want to neglect the dew claw. And there it is. Since those don't get much contact with the ground, they can get really long and end up growing into your kitty's paw and being very discomforting. So always want to make sure to get that dew claw. So if we do happen to hit the quick on our cat and we need to stop that bleeding, you just want to have your blood stop powder handy, and the simplest method is to press that claw out that you've caused to bleed and dip it firmly into that blood stop powder, and it'll quicken and allow that bleeding to stop. So that's all there is to it, and hopefully you'll be getting your cat good nail trimmings at home soon. Thank you. For this video demonstration, we'll be showing you how to collect a male dog's urine to take to your veterinarian for sampling and testing. So our materials will be a solo cup attached to this hanger so that we don't have to get urine on ourselves while you're taking the sample. We're going to take the sample when he's about midstream, and the reason for this is it's going to clear out any dirt or other contaminants he may have in his urinary tract or around the outside of it, and contaminate our sample. So without further ado, we're going to take him over here and help him do his business. Good boy. Good boy. Go Dexter. Good boy. And there you have it. So we have a good viable sample, and we're going to make sure we get that to the lab as soon as possible so he can get this tested while all the urine is fresh. Thank you for joining us. For this video demonstration, we'll be showing you how to use a simple gauze roll to restrain your dog's muzzle, both for the handler's safety as well as for the animals. So, materials for this video will be a roll of gauze. They come in both 2-inch and 1-inch sizes generally. Because he's a larger dog, we'll be using a larger gauze roll, and this is a 2-inch. So we'll start with this dog and this gauze tape. You want to work, especially if you're on a table, from behind the dog, so you're not coming at the dog's face and causing him to want to back up off the table. It also gives you more control over the animal. So we'll begin by taking our gauze and making a loop, like so. We'll place this loop around the muzzle of the dog, tighten it, so that he can still breathe and he's comfortable, but it's not going to allow him to open his mouth. Then we'll wrap under and cross, come around the back of the head, under the ears, and make a quick release bow, so that if needed, it can be undone quickly and without much to do. So that is all there is to it for restraining your dog's muzzle.